What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Jon Jones goes on another social media rant. Last night, Jon Jones went on another rant about everything. Here's some of the things he said. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. First, he reacted to a tweet ESPN's nominees for Best UFC Fighter in 2025 and he reacted by saying, "What, no bones?" Then a fan called him out for fighting Stipe Miocic and Jon fired back with this: "The best heavyweight in MMA history, but when I fight him, he's just a fighter. Make it make sense." Then another fan called out Jones for fighting a 42-year-old Stipe. Jon replied with, "And I'm 38, after a career of title fights only, big boy workload." Another member of the MMA community said Tom Aspinall ducked Jon Jones, to which Bones reacted by saying, "I know, right? I've been a part of the UFC since 2011. My man was out there fighting in local promotions. This fight could have happened a long time ago." Then someone called out Jones for ruining his legacy by ducking Aspinall, to which he replied with, "If we can't beat him in the cage, let's try to beat him with our words. I get it, yeah, sure, my legacy is ruined. You win, lol." Lastly, Jones reacted to Khabib calling Jon Jones the GOAT of MMA by saying, "I didn't expect that from Khabib. It was humbling." What are your thoughts on Jon Jones' rant on social media? Let us know in the comments. Joe Rogan slams unqualified judges. Judging in MMA has long been a hot topic for debate. Although little has been done to change judging over the years, ideas like open scoring and using former fighters as judges have been thrown out there. While the latest criteria for how judges score fights has placed a greater emphasis on damage, Joe Rogan believes that at the end of the day, what's really important is how knowledgeable judges are. During a recent episode of Joe Rogan Experience, the longtime commentator who holds a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Jean-Jacques Machado and a black belt in Nogi Jiu-Jitsu from 10th Planet under Eddie Bravo weighed in on the situation while speaking with Corey Sandhagen. The way he sees things, it's hard to judge grappling exchanges, and because of that, judges need to be qualified.
Well, it's hard to judge too, which is a real problem because there's judges that don't train and never have trained, which is to me crazy.
I know.
That's like judging a Chinese spelling bee and you don't speak Chinese. Like, who knows who's winning here?
I know it.
They don't understand it. They understand when someone's on top. Oh, he's on top.
I know.
But, you know, there's so many like near submission attempts that I think should count. Like I always go to the Oliveira Arman Sarukian fight because I think Oliveira won that fight because Oliveira came close to finishing him twice, and Sarukian stayed on top and he had a lot of control and it was a very close fight. But I think those moments where a guy is like at 9, you know, if 10 is checkmate, he's at 9 twice. That's big, man.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be there. That guy got you there. He's got a locked in triangle. Yeah, you got out of it, but still, that's big, man. That should count. And
heading into this weekend's International Fight Week card, Derek Cleary, Sal Diamato, and Chris Lee will be on hand to judge the main event fight between Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria. UFC Manager SLAMS media outlet for fake news. On Thursday, a report surfaced suggesting that a fight between Belal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov was in the works for the UFC 320 card in October. While the high-stakes fight caught the attention of fans, Rakhmonov's manager, Daniel Rubenstein, was quick to refute the claim in a post on social media. "Wonderful, another social media site that has no sources and just throwing darts. Not true, and nothing has ever been discussed for Shavkat. Try again next time. K, thanks, bye." In a follow-up, Rubenstein clarified that quote, "Nothing has been discussed" in regards to the fight. Despite that, this isn't the first time we've heard of a fight between Belal Muhammad and Shavkat Rakhmonov. On an episode of the Anik and Florian podcast back in May, John Anik mentioned the fight between the two happening in October. We'll see what Shavkat Rakhmonov has for him in October. Belal versus Shavkat in October. That's your breaking news. Despite Anik's announcement, nothing came to fruition, and now, more than a month later, it sounds like there's been no movement on the fight according to Rubenstein. While Shavkat has been on the sidelines recovering from a knee injury, his win over Ian Gary back in December put him next in line for a crack at the title. Although he was unable to cash in because of his injury, it's unclear whether he'll have to pick up another win in order to earn a shot at the winner of the Islam Makhachev-Jack Della Maddalena title fight. Considering there's been no news on when the two may throw down, the Nomad's return timeline could very well wind up aligning with the Makhachev-JDM fight, which is expected to happen before the end of the year. Magomed Ankalaev teases Alex Pereira rematch. Well, it looks like Magomed finally got his wish and seems to be teasing a fight with Alex Pereira. Magomed went on X and said the following: "October, I will close the page. And this guy career, no mercy." So it looks like we're getting the Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev rematch. Who do you see winning the rematch? Let us know in the comments below. Israel Adesanya talks about UFC return and responds to Joaquin Buckley. While training with David Goggins last month, Israel Adesanya revealed that when he returns to action, he wants to avenge his loss to Sean Strickland. Now, while speaking with Ariel Helwani during a special International Fight Week edition of the Ariel Helwani Show, the last stylebender doubled down on a fight with Strickland while revealing that he's targeting a return in October. Most likely September, October. The division's kind of stagnant. Strickland is the only one I want, but he hasn't responded. Adesanya also took some time to fire back at Joaquin Buckley, who he's been trading verbal blows with online. Even if Buckley gets a belt, my career would wash his forever 10 times over, no matter what. I don't think he'll ever touch one, but still, it doesn't matter. Like bro, he has a cool knockout. I love that knockout he had, but the other guy became a millionaire and he ain't. No, jokes. Come on, see, I'm a hater, bro. While Strickland has not responded yet, the former champion was seen in a picture training at Extreme Couture under longtime coach Eric Nixick, who he said likely wouldn't corner him in his next fight after losing to Dricus du Plessis. The picture also notably featured Paddy Pimblett, who's in town for International Fight Week. Although Strickland's been quiet regarding a rematch with Izzy, he called out Jon Jones in a series of posts amid reports of Jones's latest controversy. It's so wild that no one has ever said, "Jon Jones, why don't you go to rehab, LMAO?" Strickland then replied to a post from Derek Brunson, in which the former contender revealed, "Jon Jones and I used to hang out just about every day when I was in town from 2011 to 2014. One night we went out and I said to him, 'Bro, why are you doing all of this? Let's just hang out with the ladies and have fun. The extra stuff isn't needed. They're already here with us.' He looked at me and said, 'I don't need a dad, I need a friend.' This was the last time we hung out. I couldn't sit back and watch. I have to be honest with my friends." In response, Strickland wrote, "More often than not, when it comes to addicts, you just have to walk away. Same with Stephan Bonner. Everyone knew this man was going to or end up in prison. Literally nothing you can do. If they don't want help, close the door." When a fan asked his thoughts on Nick Diaz, the former champion pointed out that Diaz is seeking help for his problems. Nick Diaz is different. The Diaz brothers are so mentally up. The level of depression and misery these guys live with is unreal. When I'm around them, I just feel bad for how miserable they are. He's trying to get help. He then wrapped things up, adding, "Jon Jones chooses to be a piece of the Diaz brother have some real demons. Mentally broken. Whether we end up seeing a Strickland Adesanya rematch, only time will tell." This Saturday is about to be an absolute banger. The UFC is dropping a stacked card, and if you're betting on it, nobody gives you more ways to win than MyBookie. In the main event, Ilia Topuria will be taking on Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight strap. Everyone knows the power Ilia Topuria has in his striking, and Charles Oliveira is one of the best grapplers in the UFC. This has all the markings to be a Fight of the Year contender. As of right now, Ilia Topuria is sitting as the betting favorite at -417, and Charles Oliveira is currently at +333 on MyBookie. Then, in a co-main event, Alexandre Pantoja will be defending his flyweight belt against Kai Kara France. Pantoja is currently the favorite to win the fight at -256 odds, and Kai Kara France is sitting at +202 odds. With MyBookie, you've got the edge. Boosted odds, early cash outs, deep props on every fight. It's the sports book that actually works for you. Sign up with our promo code MMAZone and boost your bankroll. Deposit $50 and gain an extra $25. Or go in with $100 and MyBookie adds on $50. UFC 317 has all the big fights, and if you want to earn money while watching, MyBookie is the place to bet. Ilia Topuria reacts to Charles Oliveira's comments. Leading up to his UFC 317 headliner against Ilia Topuria on Saturday, Charles Oliveira revealed that he promised his son that he would win the lightweight title, a promise that he made to his daughter before going on to win the belt years back. While speaking with John Bernard Cairuz on Thursday, Ilia Topuria reacted to the situation. "That's why I don't like to promise my kids those kinds of things. He doesn't have to involve his kids in professional things because he's going to have to break his heart." While Topuria no longer has to make the cut down to 145 pounds, the former champion had to sit next to Dana White's cup of water during Thursday's press conference, just like he did before his fight with Max Holloway. Even though he has 10 less pounds to cut, a picture of El Matador longingly staring at the cup of water was quick to make the rounds on social media. On top of that, Topuria wound up getting booed, while on the flip side, Charles Oliveira was cheered by the fans. Despite that, Topuria did not hesitate to rile up the crowd.
"I'm the best fighter in the world. And it's not that if I'm gonna win the belt, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. They always used to be like this, but after the fight, you know what's happened."
You've knocked out Volkanovski, you've knocked out Max Holloway. You said you're going to knock out Charles in the first round. Do you enjoy knocking out these legends of the sport?
Of course, because if you beat legends after legends, you eventually become a legend, like Dana said.
Topuria also notably dismissed the question about Islam Makhachev.
Question for Ilia Topuria. The former UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev was critical of you this week. He went on an interview and he
We
said,
don't give a about him, so save that question.
Ahead of the Oliveira Topuria fight, Raul Rosas Jr. weighed in on Topuria's physique during his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show. When I gave Topuria a hug out of respect, I could feel his body. He's got like a lot of muscle mass. I can see why he's at 155. While Oliveira is heading into this fight fresh off a dominant win over Michael Chandler, as it turns out, Do Bronx wasn't able to train leading up to the fight. On Thursday, Oliveira revealed to Daniel Cormier that he only lifted weights during the month leading up to the fight. I didn't train for a month. I only lifted weights. When I was kicking with anger. When I was kneeing with anger. The pain was there the whole time, and I just had to push through. I had to fight angry the entire time. I couldn't back down. I spent the whole fight in a lot of pain. As someone who shared the octagon with both fighters, Max Holloway weighed in on the upcoming Oliveira Topuria fight during a video for his YouTube channel.
If Ilia gets a finish or a knockout, it wouldn't surprise me. But if Charles wins with a submission or even a finish of his own, even a knockout finish of his own, it doesn't surprise me. This fight is like super up in the air, guys. A lot of people are counting Charles Oliveira out, but that's when he just thrives in being the underdog. I don't know. It's how many times we called this man out and he and he somehow found a way to win, you know? So from my perspective, this fight is going to be decided probably in the first 3 minutes or 4 minutes of this fight.
With the stakes at an all-time high for both fighters, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. UFC fight updates. Heading into this weekend's International Fight Week card, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a new addition to the UFC 318 card coming up in July. According to Nolan King, Ryan Spann and Lucas Brzezinski will throw down a heavyweight fight that will see Spann look to bounce back from a loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta in March, and Brzezinski look to snap a 2-fight skid. We also have several updates on the UFC Fight Night Shanghai card, scheduled for August 23rd, with Brian Ortega set to fight Aljamain Sterling and Johnny Walker set to fight Zhang Ming Yang. The Ortega-Sterling fight will see T-City look to bounce back from a loss to Diego Lopez in September, while on the flip side, Sterling will look to bounce back from a loss to Movsar Evloev in December. In the Walker-Ming Yang fight, Johnny Walker will be looking to snap a 2-fight losing skid that's seen him wind up on the wrong end of back-to-back knockouts. While on the flip side, Ming Yang will be looking to build on a 3-fight winning streak that most recently saw him finish Anthony Lionheart Smith. And last but not least, the UFC announced this week that the Shiming Bruna Brazil fight would not be taking place on the UFC Fight Night Shanghai card, but instead on the Road to UFC card set to take place the day before. As Marcel Dorf explained, so Shi Ming will fight Bruna Brazil on the Road to UFC event that counts as her official UFC debut, while she fought last year on a UFC card but was part of the Road to UFC tournament that did not count as a UFC fight, but got a UFC performance bonus. With the latest additions, the UFC's trip to Shanghai is shaping up to be an exciting one. Alexandre Pantoja not interested in Merab fight. While many champions want to move up or down in weight so that they can pursue a second title, Alexandre Pantoja has no plans of moving up to face Merab Dvalishvili. While speaking with members of the press on Wednesday during his media day appearance, Pantoja highlighted potential title defenses against Joshua Van and Kyoji Horiguchi, and downplaying the idea of moving up to 135.
You know, people say, hey, you need to move on to bantamweight. No way, man. We have so entertainment fights here. Joshua, that's crazy. I say the guy is like he grabbed the gold ticket from the Willy Wonka fabric, you know, like he had the ticket, man. That's super crazy. If he passed for a rival, he's the next on the line, you know. And of course you have Kyoji, you have some good names. Manel Cap's there. I feel bad to Manel Cap. All the time he close to the belt, something happened, you know. I know he's a very good fighter. He has a lot of skills. I hope fight with him in the future because he's good. I want to fight with the best guys of the world, you know.
Of course, first, Pantoja will have to get past Kai Kara France, who revealed during his media day appearance on Wednesday that he's eager to meet in the center of the cage for an all-time slobber knocker on Saturday.
We're ready for the fire. You know, I'm not taking a back step. I want to meet him in the middle, and I want to showcase all my skills and let him know that, yeah, you can't hurt me. I'm right in the middle, and I'm going to stay in his face. So even if he wants to get me to the ground, I've got the best takedown defense in this flyweight division. I've shown it time and time again against these grapplers, these wrestlers, these Klingons. You know, the fans want to see knockouts, so that's what I deliver.
With Pantoja looking to pick up his 4th title defense and Kara France looking to capture UFC gold, the stakes couldn't be higher. Dana White forced to cancel UFC 317 fight last minute and release his fighter. Recently, we reported the fight between Cedric Dumas and Joaquin McVeigh was off the UFC 317 card. Cedric Dumas was reportedly not able to take off his ankle monitor in time to travel for UFC 317. He released the following statement this morning. I know I'm going through a lot and I'm sorry to my fans and my job. I promise I'm gonna be a better role model because, to be honest, it's sad of a man to be doing kid stuff because the not right way to live. Luckily, the UFC was able to find a replacement on 4 days notice, and Christopher Ewart, who was 7-0, signed with the UFC to fight Joaquin McVeigh. Well, it looks like things did not work out for the UFC. This morning, Christopher Ewart came in 10 pounds over the weight. Yes, you heard that correctly. Because of his 10-pound miss, the UFC was forced to cancel their UFC 317 fight, and they decided to release Christopher Ewart from their UFC roster. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.